Hi, and welcome to the Vixen Voice. Today we do not have an interview. We do not have a panel. You are just getting me. I'm warning you in case you want to hop off. Just playing around. I have to have a little fun when I am talking to you alone. So today I really wanted to share with you, since we're almost through the first quarter, things that I have learned this year, what I've learned so far, what I'm focused on, what I'm learning. I hold my clients accountable to these things each quarter when they're working with me. And I thought it'd be nice if I kind of shared what I'm doing. And hopefully that will help guide you through maybe some ideas of what you should be focusing on or what you want to be learning, or a reflection time of what you have learned so far this year. As you know, looking back is so important. It's such a great confidence booster, and it's so great to keep us on track. So today I just thought I would kind of free will it and share with you some things I'm learning and that I intend to learn, and things we're working on at the Vixen Gathering. I just had this conversation during an artificial intelligence panel, and I asked the guest and the panelists what they were learning and what they were focused on, and it was really fascinating. We really enjoyed hearing from each other. So I hope this spurs more creativity or ideas on your part. And here's what I'd love to do. I'd love to do an extended version of this next quarter. So if you want to be featured on the Vixen Voice, if you would love to join that panel to talk about what you've learned so far this year, what you're learning, or what you plan to learn, there is a link in the show notes. So again, you would go to vixengathering.com/podcast. And there you're going to find the show notes with the link to apply to be our guest. I would love to hear from you. It'll be a fun panel. It's easy. I've had plenty of first timers on the show. I'm pretty good at walking you through. So I'd love to invite you to come on if you want to try being a guest and you feel you have great things to share. Let's do it. Apply, and I'm probably starting a little bit of a tornado here for my team, so I don't know how many of you will apply, but we are very good at handling things. So again, go to that link, vixengathering.com/podcast, and apply to be our guest. And in the other comments, just put, I'd love to be on the learning episode and share what I'm learning. That's just an awesome, easy way for you to get your foot in the door, be a guest, and I'd love to talk to you. So again, go check that out. What I'd love to do is share kind of the three things I'm focused on so far. Ahas I've had, things I'm learning. I like to say learning because I've learned some things, but I feel we're always in the process and moving forward. And, why they're important and how they tie into either my personal goal or the Vixen Gathering goals for the year. And then I'd like to share with you three things we're working to polish or optimize. Because I always think it's important that you're bringing new stuff in and you're kind of seeing how what you have can get a step better, right? I like to say, it's our goal at Vixen Gathering to over deliver to our clients, to outserve everyone else, only because I want the best for my clients. And so we're constantly challenging ourselves to do that. So I'd love to hear from you again. What are you challenging your clients to do? This episode will be on YouTube. You can go there and share in the comments. It's great to create a sense of community where we can learn from each other. All right, so I'm going to dig in because I want to give you a nice short episode because I know we have fascinating guests and sometimes we talk a lot. So here are the three things that I have learned or am learning currently. Number one is surrender, the power of surrender. So I found that surrender is a little bit of a trigger word for some people. And I had a guest on who kind of described it as going with the flow, like the peace and joy of just going with the flow. And I think that's surrender to me. And I had this aha going into 2024 that I am actually very good at surrendering when things are going bad. Like I have this habit of accepting the worst case scenario, meditating, praying, releasing, and just kind of getting through it and surrendering. But what I realized was I was not surrendering surrendering enough in just everyday life, like day-to-day things, or when things are going well. I was not surrendering that, right? And so, for me and my spiritual journey and living my most aligned and best life, I thought it was important to surrender. And, I have a group of other spiritual healers, and we say the rosary every Sunday. And again, whatever your belief system is, there is an element of surrender in most things. It might be to the universe, to God, whatever you believe in. But I think the concept is important. And I will share with you, how I go about it and how some of my friends and my guest I just spoke to, how they go about it. So hopefully one of these ideas align best with your belief system or how you feel about things. So for me, surrender is important, and it doesn't mean that I get to sit on the sofa eating bonbons and everything just comes to me, right? I mean, what's important, and it's come to me again and again, is I have to do the work and focus on doing the work and focus on bringing value and focus on doing things exceptionally well. But I'm going to surrender the outcome. I'm not going to try to control the outcome. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have goals or a direction. I have them, but I'm kind of trusting that along the way, my intuition, my energy, my intellect will guide me to that goal, right? But you have to be checking in. This is the trick, right? You want to be checking in, because you can't just say, "Oh, great, I'm going to hit this goal," and then a week before say, "Oops, I'm not there." So for me, the way I surrender, again, because I pray to God, every morning, I say 3 times, "Jesus Christ, I surrender my life to you. Take care of everything." And what it does for me is lift that burden that I don't realize I'm carrying on my shoulders every day, that I'm not really in control, and that things are meant to be in a certain way, and they might be meant to be better than what I can imagine. And it's really interesting when you start living this way, because I got back to being exceptionally joyful. And that's really important to me. If you've been on my episodes before, you'll hear that I really encourage my clients and all of you to schedule joy on your calendar. But, if you can make joy a way of life, how powerful is that? And so for me, surrendering, I very much work hard. I show up when my family needs me. It doesn't mean that I, escape responsibility. It just means that I trust that everything's going to work out the best way, right? And I trust that sometimes there are things I can't see guiding. And this happened this week. I was hiring an executive assistant, and I had a number of great candidates apply, which, by the way, if you want to hear my simple system that I put together for this, just email team@Vixen Gathering and say, "Hey, I want April's system for hiring an EA." Happy to share that. And one of my friends runs an amazing company in the UK where she can really do a quick training on this. So happy to help you with that, because I hear that with so many people, and I did a very quick thing that got me tons of great candidates, right? So anyway, we knew we were hiring one woman, she was the top candidate first round. There was another woman who couldn't participate in first round because she had a conflict, so she was being interviewed the week after. So, we had 2 rounds with this top candidate, decided to hire her. But for some reason, I didn't want to cancel the other woman. She had some other things on her resume that I found interesting. I just found her interesting as a human being. And I thought, this could be a great connection for us. I hope she's okay, because it was just a short 20-30 minute get to know you interview. Long story short, we had a hiccup right before that with someone we're currently working for, and we realized we had a gap that we needed filling. And guess what? This woman specializes in the gap we need filling. So I hopped on the interview with her, explained the situation. She goes, "Wow, I'm really glad you kept me on here, because I'd really rather do that at work than executive assistant. She said, I am extremely organized, but that's really my passion. So it's just interesting. Like I saw we had a gap. I saw we had a problem. I didn't panic. I just said, okay, we need a plan to solve this. And then the solution showed up. So that's the best way I can explain how I surrender. It comes in small ways and it comes in little ways. My human design coach, who I absolutely love, and you've heard here on the Vixen Voice before. If not, just, look for the episode on human design, Kira Doyle. She taught me to say, show me how easy it can be. So if you're having a moment of friction or you're having a moment you're frustrated, look to the universe or the quantum field and just say, hey, show me how easy it can be. And this could be trying to find a parking spot, figuring out what you want to eat, solving a problem like I did this week and I just explained to you. So, again, my way that I've evolved to in my spiritual journey is surrendering to Jesus Christ. And that might not be where you're at or what you're comfortable with or within your belief system. So you can also just do show me how easy it can be. And then my guest, Stacey Abella, who just came back from a mastermind in India, a very spiritual country, she talked about that the beauty of her trip was just being in the flow, is what she called it. The magic and peace of just being in the flow. So I think in all three of these scenarios, we're talking about the same concept. I hope this speaks to you and I hope it helps you. Sometimes we don't have to shoulder all of the burdens that we shoulder, and we can just release them and trust that the best thing is going to show up. The second thing I am relearning is sales, and I laugh because as I shared with you, our goal is to over deliver to our clients. But if we don't market and sell to someone, we don't have clients to over deliver to, right? So as the owner of the company, I feel it's very important that I make sure we have a sales process, a way of onboarding new clients that is aligned with the mission of the company. And the reason I laugh is because in my financial advisory practice, I had an 80% close rate. I would see our TV leads and I had an 80% close rate. So I would say I was pretty darn good at onboarding new clients, right? And for me, it's just showing up with the right energy, with good intent, and showing them value. But I was at a mastermind that I attend, The Edge, and we had this phenomenal speaker, Damon Willis. I'm reading his book now, highly recommend. You'll probably see some quotes dropped in my social media. So if you don't follow me, at April Rochelle Roberts on Instagram or April Roberts on Facebook, same on LinkedIn, and of course follow at Vixen Gathering as well. I'm going to start sharing the things I'm personally studying and working on. So, I've already saved a ton of quotes on my Kindle from this book. So I will be sharing that. And in fact, my client Bex Wood and I just recorded an episode a month or so ago. You can look, and it's using your feminine energy in sales. And I never realized that that's actually what I was doing to get those good results, right? But here's my point. I was at this mastermind. Damon gave this great speech. And at the end, it was kind of higher level stuff. I said, hey, Damon, I kind of need the beginner stuff with sales, like the beginning concepts. And he goes, what do you mean you haven't sold? I was like, yeah. I was in sales, quote unquote, for 15 years in my financial practice because I was the one convincing new clients to come on board with us. And then we took care of them. And I was like, but, it's just translating it to the new industry. And he told me, April, you're acting like a white belt and you're a black belt. And I'm sharing this story because many of you listening have had a career change. You've left corporate to start your own business. You have a side hustle that you're trying to replace your 9-to-5. A lot of us are in this transition period where suddenly we feel like white belts, where we have to remember we're actually a black belt. So I just want to kind of go through the beginner stuff, be very intentional about how I want this to apply to my current business and how we want to show up for our potential clients, because you're really serving people through a sales process. I mean, our sales process is a coaching call with me. So I'm showing up and giving value at that time. So for me, it's very important that this is aligned, and I can't turn over the keys of that kingdom to someone else until I have locked and loaded how I want that experience to feel for our prospective clients. And then, another member of the team can do it, or I can hire someone to do it. But for me, it's very important that it's aligned with how we want to serve our clients. So there's a consistent experience for our clients before, during, and even after becoming clients. I really want you to feel a valued alumni of Vixen Gathering if you ever leave our program. So far, everybody just keeps re-signing up, which I also love because I love my community. So anyway, I'm kind of digging into sales. I'm going to be dropping some stuff again on my personal Instagram, sharing that journey. So if you've been struggling with that as well and you would like more clients to serve, tune in, follow me at April Rochelle Roberts. That's Rochelle, Rochelle. Again, we'll drop all of this in the in the show notes. And if you have not subscribed, you can go to vixengathering.com/podcast, subscribe, and you get everything delivered to your inbox. That way you just have a cool link. You click on and you follow me on Instagram, or you click on and you apply to be on our special show about learning. So the third thing I'm learning, and I've joined my friend Lindsay Weiss. I've had her on before. She is a quote unquote expert on Facebook groups. And I say quote unquote because she wouldn't say she's an expert, but she runs a phenomenal business and has helped numbers of other women run phenomenal, abundant businesses through their Facebook groups. So one of our focuses in Vixen this year for the year was creating a greater sense of community. Like, how can we give our clients community? So for me, our first step is the Facebook group, which I personally am monitoring, engaging, etc. And so I'm working with Lindsay to learn kind of her tricks of the trade. So, if you want to check out that journey, we are Abundant Business Women is our Facebook group. You can find us there and watch, because I'm going to start going live every week. I'll give little mini coaching sessions and we'll have networking opportunities. And every day we're dropping tips and tricks and asking questions to help you think through growing your business and becoming your best self. So I'd love to see you there. So, excuse me. That's my three main things I'm learning right now or working on. Is surrendering in my personal and business life and my spiritual journey. Making sure we have an aligned selling process for the Vixen Gathering. Again, serving our clients the way we want to serve them, even before they become clients. And the third thing is the Facebook group. Seeing if I can foster a good sense of community where women are getting value there. So that's my three main things I'm learning and working on. Here's what we are optimizing or polishing, me personally and the Vixen team. Number one, I'm always polishing my coaching, right? How can I be a better coach, a better consultant? What value can I add to my clients? It's interesting. In my sales journey, I just put together a sales purpose presentation. I have a financial firm where I help coach their advisors. So I'm going to do it with their advisors. I'm going to offer it to my mastermind group as an extra. So it's kind of cool. As I learn things, I create presentations and ways that I can share it with my clients so that they can learn at the same time. So, always polishing coaching, just making sure I'm showing up the best I can. And one way, actually, in coaching, I feel I do this well, but I realized I needed to polish my listening skills. I feel like I used to be a great listener and life got busy, and I really need to optimize listening skills because, that's key to being a podcast host. That's key to being a coach. That's key to being a good leader to my team, is really being open and listening to what's in their mind and heart. Number two that we're working on is optimizing our client experience. So again, for each of our programs, we have an outline client experience, we have the client experience, but challenging the team and myself, how can we show up even better, right? How can this be an even better experience for our clients? And that shows up in ways I said, like adding some sales coaching in there as I'm learning it. Also making sure the experience is easier for our clients, that they know where they're supposed to go, what they're supposed to do, that they feel loved, that they feel safe. So there are many ways we're optimizing that experience and always challenging ourselves. How can we level up? And the third thing is we are launching our Vixen Mastermind Jet Setter program, which is our third tier. And so that's for women running companies doing 7 and 8 figures and leading a team, because obviously a whole nother set of issues there when you have a team, or learning opportunities, I like to say. So really creating that environment where women in that position feel they have a safe space and they have girlfriends they can talk to. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this today. It's just kind of me running through what's on my plate and what I'm doing outside of my normal work activities, right? Of coaching, consulting, leading my team, hosting the podcast. So that's what I'm focused on this quarter to get better. And my personal life, I'm very much focused on getting back to my good sleep habits, getting back to my good fitness habits, and getting back to my good nutrition habits. So there's an episode with Jamie Dugan, who is my good friend, and she's actually coaching me on this live. So tune in and see what value you can take away. And again, I would love to hear from you. If you want to come on and share what you're working on, how you're striving to get better, what you're currently learning, just check that link in the show notes and apply to be our guest. So again, if 100 of you apply or hundreds of you apply, we'll figure out how to narrow it down. But I would love to have as many of you as possible as a guest, even if it's a quick 5-10 minute chat. So definitely go there, apply. We'd love to hear from you. And we'd love to hear from you about what episodes you'd like to hear. What is your biggest struggle or obstacle right now? Again, you can email us, team@Vixen Gathering. Just say, hey, April asked what I want to hear on the Vixen Gathering, and here it is. And you can just send us a video, send us an email, whatever makes sense for you. We'd love to hear from you. We are so grateful for your consistent listening, your positive feedback. And again, this time I'm here to serve you as the audience out there listening, striving to live your best life. And I'm also here to serve my guests when they're present. So any way we can do that better, we'd love to hear it. Watch for an upcoming episode where I'm going to walk you through actually what are our program offerings at the Vixen Gathering. And I'm doing this again to help you. It's one of the biggest challenges my clients have is, what am I offering to my clients? How do I show up and serve them? So I'm going to walk you through that, and I'm probably going to have a couple of clients on to share what their offerings are as well. So if you think you can bring value to that show, apply to be our guest again. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for listening to me. I love sharing what I'm learning, and I love encouraging you to learn and do your best. And just remember, at the end of the day, the world needs more love. So every day, maybe wake up and say, how can I show up in love today? How can I surrender? How can I go with the flow? Show me how easy it could be. Check it out. Try it for 2 weeks and let me know how it goes. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.